Yeah, we are live, baby. It is hashtag Friday Pie Day. Let me get down so you can see it. It's hashtag Friday Pie Day, baby. Bitcoin is pumping. I'm going to pull up the chart right behind me just so that everybody can see exactly what is going on. This thing is friggin' going, man. Look at this thing. It is going all the way from about 96K all the way up to now $104,000 on Bitcoin. We are seeing 104,378.02 cents being the high on this hourly candle on Bitcoin. What are we going to talk about today, Drew? Well, we got a nice little treat for everybody. We have all of the levels. We have some things that are happening inside of the market that could be extremely bullish. We have broken market structure. We should be, for the most part, what we think, headed to the upside. We took our gains. We took our gains shorting in the market on the way down, right? We took our gains longing the market on the way up and then shorting it back again on the way down. We took our licks. We took our loss, getting stopped out on the short position to see if we could ride it back down to that value area low, or at the very least, that point of control. We got stopped out. That happens from time to time. If anybody in the market is telling you that they don't take a loss, they're either one, lying to you, or two, they're insider trading, and you don't want to listen to them. So with that being said, we are going to go over all of the key levels on Bitcoin right now. We're going to talk about where could you be positioning yourself in a trade? Where do we see Bitcoin going? Because I do have some, now that we've broken market structure, this is actually extremely good news because now I have some pretty friggin' good and super juicy upside targets for people. So let me know what you think the upside target is in the comments section. I'm going to show you the charting patterns that I have picked out, what I'm seeing on the chart now that give me my targets of where is Bitcoin going next. Is it going to stall out at the all-time high? Is it going to 110? Is it going to $1 million, right? What are your targets? Drop them in the comments section right now. We'll see if any of you line up with the analysis that I'm doing. I'm okay getting stopped out on a short whenever I've made like what I make 2,600 plus another 1,900 plus another 2K. We made like almost $7,000, okay, in 3 trades, okay, and we got stopped out on one, took us down. I'm good on that. We're stalling out at 104. We'll see what happens at this key level. If you're here from the future, hello from the past, drop anything that you want in the comments section. Obviously, make sure you smash the like button on the video. Make sure you hit subscribe. Boom! Bang on the notification bell. Everybody's doing the pump dance right now. That Trump pump, baby, might be coming in pre-inauguration. We're going to talk about it. We're going to get into it right now. I'm going to tell you what I'm doing. I'm going to tell you what I could be seeing in terms of potentially positioning yourself for what is about to potentially happen, right? We don't know what is going to happen in the markets. No one does, okay? No one that actually, doesn't have the ability to move the market, at least, might not necessarily know what's going to happen in the markets. We are trading based off probability. We are trading based off technicals. We are trading based off statistics, charting patterns, indicators, key support and resistance levels. And now we know that we have broken market structure to the upside. So let's see what happens. We've got Brian Armstrong, not the CEO of Coinbase, in the comments section. What's up, my man? I appreciate you. We appreciate everybody that shows up to the live streams. If you're here from Twitter, make sure you come over to the YouTube live stream. I promise you it's much more fun over here because you can be like Brian Armstrong, not the CEO of Coinbase, and you can comment in the comments section and I can kind of banter with you. Let's see. Do you think Flare has a spot in the blockchain crypto industry? Oh, I don't even know what that is, man. Can you expound a little bit more upon that? And then I might be able to have an opinion or have an educated guess, right? We took a Bitcoin short yesterday, or I think we were building that position over like 2 days. We got stopped out at the 103 level. No big deal. I think our average end price was like 101, 101.5. You got to take the call. You got to take a loss if you want to be the boss. We saw a bunch of gains these past few streams. So, you know, it is what it is. Now we are going to reposition ourselves to see, are we going up or are we going to retrace and go back down? We did hit some key levels. I did take a gold short yesterday that I showed on the stream as well. That actually played out profitably for me before we now are we are bouncing on gold. So let's get straight into the charts. Make sure that you smash the like button. Seriously, it helps extremely with these streams. And if you appreciate my analysis, man, let me know. That's the easiest way to do it. All this stuff is free. The only thing that I ask, smash the like button for me. Now, let's go to the gold trade really quick. I want to show you the gold trade that we took. Okay, so we took our gold trade right here. I think my average price was like 27.20. We came back down here. We can take this off. This is our short. We set our stop loss up here. Obviously, we did not get stopped out. Came down here, right? This was just a short-term position that we were trying to take because we had broken out of this falling wedge pattern, right? And I was pretty certain that we were going to run it into resistance and front run right before this this previous swing high. We did. We caught a little kind of bounce to the bottom, and now we're forming what could be potentially a cup and handle pattern on gold. If you see it, I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. This could be a potential cup and handle pattern on gold where you're like, shoom, bam, cup and handle, baby. That cup and handy. We love those cup and handies. And if we break above this level right here, we break market structure. Anyways, I took profits right here. This is where I took profits. On that second bounce from the 50 moving average, I was like, okay, we've got some legs here. We've got some legs here. We don't want to be in a short position anymore. At the very least, what you could do is actually short again up here, write it down here for the bounce. Boom. Targeting all-time highs, baby. We'll get into gold here in just a second, but I want to get into Bitcoin, okay? Because there's some serious stuff that's happening on Bitcoin. First and foremost, what do we know that we took out? Why is my tool not on here? Oh, because it was on the gold chart. We took out the previous swing high, okay? So now what we want to see is a higher low, okay? So we had this downward sloping trend channel, right? First off, we had this falling wedge. We broke out of that. All right, that's great news for Bitcoin and for people that are long on Bitcoin, right? Now, we still have not retested this. The retest level is about 99.4, right? Let's say somewhere in that realm. So, I mean, could you kind of like nibble on a short here at a pretty key resistance level to target here to go to all-time highs and beyond? To infinity and beyond. Yes, you could. Absolutely. 100%. So, I mean, if you want to nibble on a short here, I wouldn't go super hectic on it. And I would set my stop loss like above 105. And I'll give you that trade here in just a second. Here's the level that you would want to set it above right here at this previous kind of like little catch point, right? Whenever we started falling, and then boom, you would be targeting all-time highs and beyond if we get down here, right? So that's the good news for Bitcoin, right? We have that. Okay. Then there's another really cool thing that I'm kind of seeing. We did have this macro downtrend, right? We broke out above that. Okay. Again, yet still, we have not retested it. So we would like to see a retest of this to then, obviously rock it up, right? So let's show you what I mean by that. It's the same exact thing that I just showed you, right? They're basically at the same level. Boom, boom. That's what we want to see. Okay. That's what healthy markets do. So we broke that, right? Then we also have the key Fibonacci level, the 0.618 being at about $101,000. So you also could see potentially a scenario here where we fall down here because we just hit the 6.786 and we're getting rejected off of it. I'll show you. We're getting rejected off it right now. So if we come back down here to the 0.618, we want to see it boom, bounce, rock it up. That's where you could consider entering, like exiting your short position here. Nibbling on a long and then putting a secondary long order right there, because these are going to be your kind of like lines in the sand as it pertains to Bitcoin. And then obviously we know that there's going to be a third line in the sand, which is the FRVP, boom, right here, which coincides with the 0.618 level. And guess what? This trend channel is coinciding with the point of control, baby. Is it starting to add up? Is it starting to make sense, right? This is what I'm talking about, right? So these are going to be two really good levels to take longs. This is going to be a good level to take a long as well. Okay, so I'm talking, let's see what we got. We've got about 101,000 and then probably in the $99,000 range, 99.3, maybe 99.5-ish. And that's where I would start nibbling, right? And then my last long that I would put in would be right here at this 0.5 level at about 98.7 potentially. Even, you know, at the 100 moving average all the way down here to about 97.5, right? So that's where you would want to see Bitcoin, which has just now made a higher high that broke market structure. You want to see it now make a higher low, probably above the 200 moving average and this 0.382, and then rock it up. That's what we're looking at, right? So again, I don't necessarily think there's a trade here per se. There's two things that you can do. Actually, there is a trade here. You can short it if you're feeling froggy, and I've nibbled on a little itty bitty short, right? I mean, it's like a $2,000 position. I stand to make like 1,200 on it, and worst case scenario, I lose like 270. Okay, I don't care. That's a big deal, right? But you nibble on that short, right? You bring it down here to about the $98,000 level, and then you flip long, right? Or what you can do is you can be non-directional. You can open up a long, and you can open up a short here, right? And what that will do is it will cancel out the other side, right? So if it starts pumping to the upside, then you stop out, right, of the short position at a certain level, and then you ride the long up. But then if it starts moving down, what you do is you keep your long open so long as you're, you know, so long as your risk parameters are set properly, right? And then you start to flip your short position at these key levels into a bigger long position, and then bring your long average down. Or you can stop out, right? You can stop out at a certain level, ride the short down, flip long, boom, go upwards, right? So you could do a schlong here and be like non-directional, which is being in a short and a long at the same time. I'm not saying you have to do that, but I'm saying if you're in a trade here, those are your two trades, right? You've got a schlong, you could be schlonging it, or you could be targeting a short down here, or you could even be targeting, if you're directionally biased to the long side, you could be targeting about the 105-ish range. And I'll show you why. Oh, whoops. I just deleted some stuff. I'll show you why you could be potentially targeting a long position here, right? But we're going to get all this other stuff off. We know where those supports are, right? We know where those supports are. We're running up to resistance right here. We're trying to break through it like as we speak. If we break through this and then we get above it, right? And we back test it, right? Because this will be our first candle that gets above it. So if we close above it, we need another close of a candle above it. Then we back test it, and we could be continuing upward. And I'll show you where I think that could go from here, right? But here's my point. What I'm also seeing is that cup in handy, baby. A potential cup in handy, all right? And here's your next resistance, right? Your next resistance is going to be at 105.379. Why? Because if you go over here and you check out where we had a little catch point before we went to the new all-time high, and then where we had a catch point where after we fell, we tried to, you know, continue the run up, we got rejected. That's what I would call a minor support or minor resistance at the 105.4 level, okay? So that's going to be your next minor resistance on your way up, right? But here's what I'm seeing on this cup and handle, right? If you measure this cup and handle, and it is sloping upwards, which is what you want to see on a cup and handle. If it's a cup and handle, you want to see it either level or slightly sloping upwards, because that gives you the upward directional bias, right? So now that we're sloping upwards, we could see this handle start to form on the hourly chart. What's our 75% move? $114,000 almost, man. Like, we're talking 113. That's a 75% like trace of the measured move on this. The 100% move, guess where that's at, baby? 118 almost. It's at 117,230 or 230 or $280. Okay, so we could see some massive upside here, so long as we hold these levels, right? And what do I mean by that? So long as we don't set a lower low here, which is we got to go below $89,000 to set a lower low here. We're kind of in a wait and see pattern right now. Do you want to buy here? I don't necessarily think that you should buy the top. Do you want to sell here? I mean, with momentum and the massive volume that just came in on those previous two candles, and the volume we're seeing on 14 minutes worth of this candle right here, I mean, I don't know if you want to short here. If you're going to short, it needs to be a nibble. Like I said, a little tiny position. It's a starter position, right? Just risk management 101, right? But What I'm saying is that these moving averages are going to start coming up, right? So if we stay in this range right here, we're going to see, you know, coming down here to the 20 moving average on the 100. That's a magnet, right? So we could see it coming down here to about 101.8, bouncing up, getting rejected at, you know, 103.5, right? Coming back down here to whenever the 50 moving average gets inside of here, maybe to the 101 range, bouncing up. And that's where we could probably see a breakout point, is when the, you know, if the 50 holds up as a dynamic support, boom, and then you blast off. And that's why you want to start building your long positions once you get down here, right? You never want to buy the top, right? And you never want to sell the bottom, right? You always want to, boom, take it level by level and see where it's going to potentially go. So there's your targets on that. What's the other thing that I'm seeing? Dude, I'm seeing a massive, massive inverted head and shoulders here, okay? Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. So, I mean, even if you come down here, say to, you know, even like the 94.8 range, you're in an inverted head and shoulders that could nullify this head and shoulders, right? Where's it at? Could nullify this head and shoulders. They're about the same size, right? Once you kind of break above here, like if you get up here, this head and shoulders is pretty nullified, man. I mean, could you make an argument that this needs to go here? Yeah. Let's pull the other one off and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Could you make an argument that this could be the right shoulder right here at about 104.5? Yeah, you could. You could, absolutely. Again, like, I mean, this is, you just got to take it level by level, man. I mean, this could still be the head and shoulders pattern, you know, potentially playing out. You don't know yet. So now that we have that updated, just understand that there's a macro head and shoulders pattern that printed before this inverse head and shoulders pattern happened. And that's why I'm saying we're kind of in a wait and see type of scenario, right? My bias is if we come back down here to 94.3 and we bounce, like, I'm favoring upside a lot more than I'm favoring downside at that point. If we set, because not only would we be, you know, getting an inverse head and shoulders that's moving up, we would also be setting a higher low here, right? And what do I mean by that? We have a high here down to a lower low right here, then a lower high, right? And then a lower low here. And then guess what? A higher low that broke the market structure of that downtrend, right? Now, what could also form here is, if you look at it, you could be seeing boom, boom, a WV pattern that brings you down here, right? It's not the best WV because you want to see this W more like down here, right? Like in the middle of where the top levels of the W forms. And then you want to see it retrace back down to like kind of that midpoint level. But I mean, it is kind of a W. Like if you look at it, right? Let's see. Let's just draw it. I got to take this magnet tool off. This thing's messing with me. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. And then if you retrace down to here, right? Bam. That's a WV pattern, textbook, right? Now, would you want to see this one a little bit higher? Yeah, you would probably want to see this being a little bit higher, like more like up here, and then a retrace back down to like the 102 level, and then a boom, a bounce. But it is kind of a WV pattern that is forming. So, I mean, there's that too. So we're seeing some massive, massive bullish indications here. Like, to be honest with you, I'm feeling a little bit more bullish about Bitcoin now, even with this looming kind of head and shoulders pattern that we see on the 4-hour chart and the daily chart, and even now the hourly chart, right? Like, this head and shoulders is kind of, I mean, once you get up here closer to the all-time highs, this thing's negated. This thing's nullified, man. So now from a micro, like, I guess it's not really a micro perspective, from a midterm perspective, dude, I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this more than I'm looking at anything else, right? And especially if we get above this resistance right here, right? then that's what I'm talking about. And that's like right where the neckline would break if this played out the way that I have it drawn, right? Coming down to about $95,000. Now, does it actually go down to about $95,000? It might not. It might only come down to about here, right? 98, somewhere in that realm, right? Right down here to where this swing low is, probably like 97.5, something like that. I mean, that's what we could be seeing, you know. So bullish nature on Bitcoin right now is not looking too terrible, to be honest with you. And we're trying to smash through this resistance right now, like as we speak. We're getting some massive volume candles. If you look over here, we're getting some massive friggin' volume candles, man. I mean, this candle's only been printing for 20 minutes and it's already eaten up almost half of this major candle, right? The S&P obviously opening up positive kind of helped this move up. And then obviously I think Trump's inauguration coming in 3 days on Monday is helping this move up. But we do have this key level of resistance right here at about 105.4, right? And we're trying to smash it right now, dude. Like if we smash this, dude, I don't see any reason why Bitcoin isn't moving up. I mean, you've got a nice rounded bottom, you know, and a leg up, you know. Like if you long down here, you're an animal. Like I long down here, don't get me wrong, but I closed those longs up here once we started to hit this previous swing high resistance level. And now I'm revisiting the charts to basically see, okay, where do we go from here? And as it's looking right now, I'm going to get into the weeds here in a little bit here in a second, like on the 5 minute and the 15 minute chart and stuff like that. But as it's sitting right now here, this is looking bullish. Okay. This is definitely looking bullish because now you've got this kind of like upward sloping. Bam. You know what I'm saying? Like if we break that, it's looking super prime and super fire for Bitcoin, in my opinion. Right? So let's zoom in on this and let's make sure that we drew that correctly. We want to make sure our trend lines are drawn correctly. Okay. Boom. That's good. Yep, that's good. And then bam, you know, that, yeah, you're right there. Like literally, this is the inflection point right here. This is the point where Bitcoin either goes through or rejects, comes back down, sets a lower high or a higher low, and then boom, rockets through it. You know, if you flip this thing to support, then guess what? I mean, you're riding this thing up hella far, you know, to all-time highs. I mean, this could be crazy. And you do have technically like 3 touch points on this, right? You do have like a technical 3-4 touch points on this, right? You extend this out here, boom. You've got, you know, 1 touch point right here, 1 touch point right here, two touch points technically here. So call it 3 touch points, right? Because these did happen on separate days. 4 touch points. This would be like your 5th touch point. I mean, that's where you could see it breaking up, right? Because a lot of times whenever you get your 5th touch point on a trend line, that's where that trend line breaks down. In this case, it would break up. You know, it could break up. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of pretty good news in my opinion for Bitcoin right now. Now you do have like kind of a super upward trending, like, you know, if you look at this, like this is, you know, super, we'll just call it like the slope of this thing is nasty, right? The slope of this thing is nasty big, but you have broken it as it sits right now, you know, and you've got 3 touch points on that. Boom. Say, put that here. Boom. I mean, you have broken outside of this too as well. So now you're kind of caught in this like almost like rising wedge that's just like super filthy, right? Like this is super filthy, but you know, rising wedges tend to break down, especially when you're hitting them at resistance. So I could see us hitting this and coming down here, right? This is a rising wedge. This is a textbook rising wedge pattern, right? And it's super duper inclined. So what could you see happening here? Boom, you're riding it up, you get rejected here, you come down here into this area somewhere, bam, catch point, boom, blast off, baby. So, I mean, yeah, I would be favoring, you know, maybe a little bit of a retracement here downside, but nothing too crazy that I would be saying, like nothing too crazy to write home about. Let's call this the Rising wedge. Boom. Okay, so we can take this off, and I want to talk about some other stuff. We can get into some altcoins too. If anybody wants me to look at any altcoins, drop them in the comments section, and we'll get to that here in just a second. As you can see on the thumbnail, oh, that's not what I had. I had that on my other thumbnail. I had the big green up arrow with Trump on it. It's a good thumbnail. So anyways, here's my point. If we're looking at the VRVP or the FRVP, sorry, we're seeing that we are overextended from this. Like, we could see a retracement, in my opinion, from, somewhere around here, right back down here to the point of control and this 100 moving average. And then that's where you get your bounce. So just be cognizant at these levels, right? Be cognizant at those levels, because those are going to be like very, very key levels. And if you look at the fibs, right, then you're going to see the exact same thing, right? You're going to see that you could be coming down here to about the $98,700 level, which is the 0.5. Worst case scenario, you're looking at this, 0.382, right? And that's a pretty good entry, in my opinion, to ride that thing up to all-time highs, man. That's a hell of an entry, is my point. So just be cognizant of what's going on in the market right now. Now, here's the other thing. I would be slightly biased favoring upside. Why? Because over the weekend, right, the institutional trading volume is much lower on Bitcoin as a whole, because they're all taking time off, right? Most institutions aren't going to be trading on Saturdays and Sundays. So the directional and general bias on weekends is usually up when you're in an uptrend, okay? It's like usually continuation patterns, because retail is the one that has that sentiment, and they're the ones driving price, whereas institutions aren't as involved, right? So up until Monday, I mean, man, we could run up and hit this level, you know what I mean? This 105, and even, break it potentially. But that's a critical key level. So just pay attention to it. Pay attention to price whenever you hit that, to see what's potentially going to happen whenever you hit that level, if you hit that level, right? I really like what I'm seeing on Bitcoin right now, like, honestly. And alts are probably, I mean, let's look at the crypto bubbles, man. Look at that market, dude. Like, even Fartcoin is up 16.5%. SPX killing it. Rune up massively. OKB up massively. Yeah, I mean, dude, this is looking great. What's ETH doing? Where's ETH on this? ETH, I assume, probably isn't running as hard as everything else, but yeah, I mean, ETH is even up to $3,500. I'm liking what I'm seeing in the markets right now, man. Like, and I'm not biased. I really like, okay. Am I a little bit biased? Yes, for sure. I want to see the markets go up because of Wolfer Finance and our portfolio and things of that sort. But I try not to let that bias affect my technicals, right? So when I'm looking at charts, I have no general bias. I'm just like, hey, what's the chart telling me? And the chart is telling me right now, like, dude, uptrend, right? The chart is telling me right now, uptrend, right? Boom. That's what it's telling me, right? Do you have a rising wedge? Yeah, we saw it. Did you break this previous swing high? Yep, we did. That's great. So, I mean, I'm digging it. I'm digging what I'm seeing on the charts right now. You tell me in the comments section what you think, and we'll take it from there. I don't know anything about this blockchain, man. Flare enables different blockchains to communicate with each other. Blockchain interoperability. It also provides smart contract capabilities to layer one, blah, 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 blah. Project tagline. I don't know anything about it. I mean, that could be massive. But there's a lot of blockchains that already technically like do that, like Polkadot. That's like their claim to fame. There's a couple of blockchains that are already trying to accomplish that, and that they've been here for a while. All right, let's look at HBAR and COQ. Brian Armstrong in the comments section, strong. He's living up to his name, man. His name, you know, he's strong in the comments section. Let's see what we got going on with HBAR. Okay, boom. We've got the Coinbase chart. We probably already have a chart on this. No, we don't. Whoops. Dude, I mean, like H bar is like one of those like SPXs that's just like defying all logic right now. Now, one thing I will say is this would be a mature bull flag if it wasn't like already coming down here to break the bottom of this. This is a hard one. I mean, this one's favoring downside. To be honest with you, it's reaching a pretty shortable level. But my problem with shorting H bar right now is that first and foremost, Bitcoin's on a tear, market's going up, right? Secondarily, I believe it was like right back here. I think it was like right back here whenever the election stuff was happening. They pumped it by saying like all the tax stuff on H bar. Now you did break this downward sloping kind of downtrend right here, which was just like essentially like let's call it what it is. It was just essentially a massive bull flag, and you've broken out of it now. And you know, have you retested it? No, you haven't retested it. My bias on H bar would be favoring downside to 32.4 cent range for a retest right here around the 100 moving average. That's where I would see buying interest starting to hit, right? And as you can see, it was kind of a catch point right here. And it's where that downward sloping trend channel would be. We can actually draw the channel though. I'm not going to sit here and do that to you on the chart where it's like, where it's nasty. It's just pure filth looking, right? So let's draw a parallel channel and I'll kind of show you where the entry criteria, because here's the thing, like you don't just want to enter, man. Like that's the thing. Like I get it. The market's pumping and stuff like that, but that doesn't mean that you enter, right? Whenever it's way extended. So this would be my level right here, probably at the 100 all the way down to right around here. So I would say anywhere in the 31 to about 32.5 cent range is a strong buy on H bar. If you're not already in a position right here, I don't necessarily think that there's a position to be taken because you are running up on essentially like the highest. You're in price discovery right now. So this is going to be pretty tough to call. But what we can do is something that we taught yesterday, and you can kind of see where this could be potentially going. Here's the high. Here's the low. Here's the new high, right? And again, right, if you look, boom, you've got that key level right here, the 0.618 fib that's hitting right where that trend line is, man. I mean, that's where you can see a retrace to. It just tagged this retrace level almost exactly. It's getting caught up at it. It's bouncing from it. And that's great news. Now, could you see a breakdown here to the 0.5? Yeah. Could you see a breakdown here to the 0.618, the golden pocket? Yeah, for sure. You definitely could. But we're going to take that off of our chart, and I'm going to give you the where could this be going upside wise, right? Because what you want to do is you want to measure from this low, right? After we set this new high, okay? You want to measure from this low right here to this high, all the way to the ultimate low here, right? We can actually drag that over here. Let's do it right here. And let's put the magnet tool on so that we can get this right and perfect, okay? I don't like my levels not being like perfect. Okay. Boom. Okay, so where could you see H bar going? Oh man, it already went up and smacked that golden pocket. There's that, right? It smacked the golden pocket immediately already, got rejected from it. Yeah, I mean, I would be saying like you could be like longing down here. I wouldn't be longing here necessarily. I don't like to buy when things are going up. I like to wait until the dust settles and see where it's going to go from there, right? So yeah, I mean, you could be buying right down here in about the 31 to 33 cent range. And then what would you be targeting, right? You'd be targeting this 1.618. If this is for a swing trade, like long-term traders, you'd be targeting 66 cents, which is a 100% move for you if you bought at 33 cents. You'd be targeting 66.5 cents in the bull run. And then you would also be targeting about 93 cents ahead of that. And that's where you could probably see it starting, in my opinion, to top out. Once you get up to about the 2.618, Usually you don't run up past that. You might get halfway through the 2.618 and 3.618 level, which would bring you just above a buck on H bar. So that's kind of what I'm seeing on H bar. I mean, I like the chart. I don't necessarily think that I don't think it's a bad chart necessarily, but I mean, that's where you can see the downside is all the way down to about $31. So, I mean, would this be a good range to take profits? Maybe take some off of the table. Maybe if you're profitable, take 50% off the table. And if it comes back down here, you pick it up, boom, you ride it back up. And if it doesn't and keeps running, guess what? You've still got upside, right? That's what a trader would do, in my opinion, right? That's what I do. So let's look at CLQ. I've never heard of that. Oh, this is a stock. Thoughts about the new satellites with the software capabilities and anti-quantum hacking? I mean, you're asking me questions like, dude, I don't know everything, man. I wish I did. I wish I had time to like know everything. I don't know anything about this company, right? I have absolutely no idea of anything about this company. I'm going to trade on technicals. I wish I knew that much about stuff, man. I really do. We've got a downward sloping trend line, man, that's literally been respected like really good, really well. Yeah, I mean, this is looking prime for a breakout potentially. I mean, that's what downward sloping trend channels do. They break out. It's reaching resistance here. You've got the moving averages that are moving up on it right now. I mean, you've got the 200 right here. It's sitting on top of the 50. You've got the 200 right here. I mean, this could be your bounce right here. This legitimately could be your bounce, to take it somewhere up to probably this swing high right here, which is about $9.60, man. I mean, this is just a massive bull flag. That's all this is. This is just a massive, massive bull flag, man. Super, super mature bull flag too. I mean, if you really want to get technical about it, I mean, this bull flag could be measured all the way down to friggin' here, you know, and, you are in a downward sloping trend channel. I would say if you want to enter, I would be placing an order at the 200 and I would place my stop loss pretty close outside of that, right? And then if you drop below that, this is where you would want to enter, and you would either take profits here or you would wait for the breakout, the retest, and then the pump, and then you would take profits at the 100, or you would ride it all the way up here. And all of these are take profit levels. Like if you enter here, this is a take profit level right here. Then this is your second take profit level. Then this would be your third take profit level. If you entered here, then this would be your first take profit level. This would be your second. And then this at the all-time high would be your third, right? These would be great trades. Yeah, I mean, that would be awesome, man. I'll look at Flare as well. Yeah, let's look at Flare. Let's see what they got going on. That's the skinny on whatever that was, CLQ. Flare USD only on Bybit. See if it's got a USD. Yeah, USDT. Let's go to Bybit's chart, see what they got going on. We'll go to the spot chart on. No, they don't even have it. Oh yeah, it's right here. FLR. Tell me if this is the right. Ooh, Jesus, that thing smashed. Look at that. God candles, man. I mean, that thing ran with Bitcoin. That's a fact. So, yeah, I mean, that's crazy, dude. I mean, this thing's got some history. Like, is this it? Blair, I mean, tell me in the comments section if this is the right one. If it is, it just broke a key resistance level. That's good news for you. Here's your key resistance level, right? Bam. And that's it, right? And it broke a key resistance level even further before that, right? Which was right here. And then friggin' back tested it to bang up, dude. Like, this is why TA is so powerful, man. I mean, look at these trend lines. Like, if you just draw these trend lines as they come in, like, look at this. You know, here's the first trend line. It went down, and here's your first catch point, right? It got above it, fell back below it, back tested it, fell above it, or fell below it again, right? Got up above it, retested it, boom, retested it here, skyrocketed up. Set a new trend channel, right? So now you're trading inside of a trend channel here now, right? tested the upper end of it, came back down, tested this that it flipped to support, boom, rocketed through it, came back down, back tested it as support, boom, rocketed through it. I would be saying enter somewhere here in the 2.5 cent range on a back test of this to be targeting probably this level right here. I mean, this is good stuff. I like this. That's your resistance. That's your first key point of resistance, right? That's been very well respected. That's going to be your second one. This is going to be your third one. That's not it. Give me 1 second. This is going to be your third one, right? And then obviously you're targeting all-time high after that. Boom. So you've got, you know, entering at, say, 2.5 cents, trying to ride it all the way back up here to, you know, 3.235 cents, then 3.4 cents, 3.65, and then 3.8 cents. Further than that, I mean, you're going to get into price discovery is probably my guess. I don't know if it's ever been higher than this. It has not. It has not. Not in any time frame that I'm seeing, at least. Let's go to the daily chart and see what it looks like. So it has been higher than this. Okay, so you do have some data here, right? You do have some data here that you can pull from. Okay, so let's do the Fibonacci retracement. Look at that, dude. You tried to smack up into the 0.618. You're getting rejected at the 0.5. You get rejected at the 0.5. Came back up here. You're struggling at the 0.32. I mean, yeah, this is your target right here. 4.2 cents, man. 4.2 cents. It's nuts, man. Yeah, this doesn't look terrible in my opinion. Like, honestly, like enter on the 0.236 retest here, right? If you get rejected here, enter at 2.4 cents, which would be also an extension of this trend line right here, right? It'll intersect. You enter here, boom, you're targeting all of this up here, dude. I mean, and in a bull run, dude, I mean, look at how friggin' far this thing can run. I mean, this is an insane trade. Like, this could be an insane trade. I mean, this is fat, big dog status, man. You place it under the 100 moving average. You target that previous swing high, and you got a 5.5x risk to reward. If you ride it all the way up to the 1.0 right here, you're looking at a 14x risk to reward. I mean, even riding it up to this kind of like these highs over here, 8x risk to reward, man. I mean, this is, yeah, I'm going to keep this on my watch list, man. This is, thank you for giving me this chart, dude. Like, I wish that they had this. Do they have this on BitGet? I feel like they don't. Actually, we can look. Let's see where they have this thing, man. I need to find a liquid market, dude. Like, this one's pretty insane, to be honest with you. I feel like they should have this on most if it's ranked 70, right? They should have this on most exchanges if it's in the top 70. Yeah, I mean, they've got it on Coinbase. Do they have it on BitGet? I don't see BitGet here. No, I don't think they have it on BitGet for leverage trading. That sucks. But they do have it on Coinbase, Kraken, KuCoin. I mean, everywhere. You know, like you could probably trade at leverage here. So yeah, I mean, that was a great call, man. I mean, that was a good one to look at. So yeah. All right, we've got another request. XRP, baby. Dude, XRP, again, that's gonna be one of those ones where it's just like, it's just defying all logic, right? And just doing literally whatever it wants. Okay, he supports or resistant target. And these are going to be our downward trend. Boom. Yeah, I mean, this chart looks nuts. I mean, this thing's got some massive upside. Now, does it have massive downside too? Absolutely. Like if you come down here and you double bottom here, I mean, you're literally shedding 67%. But if Bitcoin's ripping, this thing's going to rip with it, is my point. So just be cognizant of that. Now let's look at XRP. I feel like we already have a chart. Yeah, we always have a chart on XRP. Okay. Boom. Okay, so here's, dude, XRP's going absolutely bonkers right now. Like it just got out of that bull pennant that we were talking about the other day. It just got out of that bull pennant. It held the line in the sand. It's trying to bull flag out again, man. I mean, this is on the daily chart. Let's look at the hour. Yeah, I mean, it broke out of this pennant pattern. It's flipped this from resistance to support now. I would like to see it retest this level to continue upwards, because now it's in price discovery mode, and you would want to understand like where could we be potentially going whenever we're in price discovery mode. But again, we know exactly how to, measure that. Okay, so let's take, this is the previous low. Okay, we're just gonna run it. Again, this is a masterclass on price discovery mode, man. Like, just soak this in for what it is, because most people aren't going to tell you about this stuff, all right? Because most people don't know about it in the first place. But yeah, look, you just got rejected, dude. I mean, this is textbook stuff, man. This is textbook stuff. Literally got rejected at the 0.618, man. Just got rejected at the 0.618. Boom. You could be seeing it going up to about 375 if you catch traction here. I would want to see it retest this level and then bounce from the 50. At the very least, retest the 0.382 right here at about $2.80. I mean, this thing's got legs in it, though. I mean, let's be real. Like, it will defy all logic if you let it, right? So your 1.0 level, which is kind of like the full move for this, is at $4.26. So you still got $1 worth of upside. I mean, I would be entering, I would be a buyer down here, okay, in the $2.65 to $2.70 range. I would be a buyer there, okay? That's that. You know what I mean? Like, that's that. And then I would be targeting, this thing's nuts. I would be buying somewhere in this realm, and I would literally be targeting this 1.0. And then further than that, that would be like kind of my first take profit. And then I would be targeting this. And guess where that's at? $5.72. And if it runs further than that, the 2.618 is at $8, man. I mean, you could almost see a 3x by the end of this bull run, probably on XRP. XRP could be spitting distance, like Hakua distance from $10, man. And then, I mean, I would see probably like a massive crash after that, because that would probably be peak bull run right there. That would probably be peak bull run price target. But yeah, I mean, that's nuts. I mean, XRP could just absolutely go nuts. Uphold has flare. Yeah, I've heard of Uphold. Are they regulated? That was one thing. I don't know if Uphold is regulated. Is Uphold Yeah, it's regulated in the United States, UK. Okay, yeah, I dig it. Yeah, so Uphold has it. You probably can't trade on leverage, most likely, but yeah. Let's look at Bitcoin just really quick, see where it's at. Woo, geez, man. Bitcoin's ripping, dude. Bitcoin is absolutely ripping right now. Like, what's the high on this bad boy? 105. Yeah, I mean 105.027. That's nutty. So let's look at ETH. Okay, I want to see what ETH's doing, see if it's at any levels that make sense. Well, it literally hit the price target on that whenever we were talking about longing here, saying, hey, ride it up to this resistance level. That resistance is there for a reason, man. I mean, we got this. I mean, this chart is nuts, right? You're above the point of control. You could be riding it up here to about $3,600. I mean, dude, here's what we need to see, okay? Let's get all this stuff off. Oh, dude, the cup and handle might be breaking out. Oh, man. We came back down and tested the bottom end of the cup and handle channel, dude. If this cup and handle breaks out and confirms up here, dude, we're hitting almost all-time highs. Almost all-time highs on ETH. If this plays out, this is what we want to see. This is exactly where I was going with it. What we want to see is we want to see that 5K level hit on ETH, and that's what's going to make all of the, you know, flares, all those things. That's what's going to make all those things just skyrocket, just pump, baby, pump, to the moon. So, I mean, that's going to be extremely good. I think that ETH is probably gearing. I think ETH is probably gearing up to play out. If Bitcoin continues to go up, ETH is going to play out. It's going to bust out of this cup and handle pattern. It's going to start heading up to these previous swing highs, right? Obviously, we got to take this one out first, right? But we are seeing a nice little rounded bottom here. Shoo, bam, let's rocket it up. And then we're going to be heading and targeting the all-time highs, man. That's that. You know, previous all-time highs, which was around, I think it was like 48.50. That's great news. Because then the avalanches of the world, those can start pumping, right? Let's see what Avalanche is doing. So what's unfortunate about this so far right now, this is market cap. I don't want to be on market cap. Actually, I could make a point about market cap, but we won't do it just yet. This is the one thing that's a little bit frustrating, in my opinion, is that although Bitcoin is pumping and everybody's cheering it on, I totally get that. The alts are not, okay? And what do I mean by that is they're just like, they're not setting the higher highs that Bitcoin is, right? So that's my point. Like, if you see it, they're running into resistances and they're not setting the higher highs that Bitcoin is. Like, this was the lower high on, what's it called? Avalanche, right? From this previous high, This was the lower high, and then Bitcoin sets a higher high here, but Avalanche doesn't. And that's what's frustrating about this with the altcoins, because you're still seeing, I mean, don't get me wrong, like, you do kind of see like a double bottom kind of here, right? If you zoom out, and there is kind of an inflection point, but like, because of this right here, you can kind of see these two candles. Let's see, I'll zoom in on them. You do see kind of like a double bottom right here. Bottom, right? It's within Spaktua distance, right? It's pretty cut and dry, to be honest. Drag this over here. Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty key support level. I mean, this is a good place to be considering longs, right? In that realm. Boom. And then we've got our inflection point right here. Why that's happening. Boom. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, you could see it's struggling at the top end of this channel. It did regain the 200 moving average. My guess, you're going to see this across a lot of the altcoins. But what we really need to see is these altcoins not just coming up here. They need to be taking out those previous lower highs so that they have a higher high and then come back down here to these trend channels, set a higher low, and that way they can move up, okay? Because what we need to eventually see is this right here, where actually it would be about right here, where Avalanche goes up to its previous all-time high, right? And we're very, very far away from that, right? So yeah, I mean, and if you look at this right here, I mean, there is good news potentially, right? You do have an upward sloping trend line that could potentially get you there eventually, but it's going to take forever to get you there, is my point. Like, it's going to take, I mean, this is February of 2025. That's not terrible. I mean, if this trend channel like plays out, if we break out of this kind of like double bottom falling wedge almost pattern, it's not like the best wedge. I get that. It's not like a super falling wedge. But my point is that, you know, you could see these things hitting their all-time highs if they just hit their trend channels and ride them up. they could be hitting it sometime in the middle of March, right? Which is right in line with Trump's first 100 days. So, I mean, we could see stuff start to move. But in my opinion, Bitcoin is not going to be the driver of that. Bitcoin's going to be the driver of ETH moving, but then ETH is going to have to be the driver of the alts moving, right? So what I would want to see on these alts is, first off, breakout, bullish retest, take out the previous swing high right here, set a higher high, right? Back test it or set a higher low, right? And then rock it up past these other previous swing highs. Boom, flip those. Another lower high, back test the previous high as support. Boom, start moving up. That's what you want to start seeing. And because of the way that the market structure is starting to play out, that is a potential scenario. Is that guaranteed? Absolutely not. This is just literally playing out scenarios on a chart, right? This is just saying, hey, since Bitcoin did this, right, and it started to break its market structure to the upside, and now it's cracked 105, right? Once Bitcoin finally did this, that's where we're seeing, okay, market structure could be more or less heading to the upside. And I also see this, right? Right? I mean, this is where our inverted head and shoulders is, okay? And this is where our cup and handle is. Bam, right? So, I mean, I actually need to update that cup and handle now. This thing's getting pretty steep, the curve on this bad boy. So is it going to be valid? I don't know. We'll see. As long as it stays below about 45 degrees, it's still a valid cup and handle. But my point is that we do have resistance right here that we're hitting, right? We do have an upward sloping trend line that's been respected, right? Boom, 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 right? And, you know, it did try to do a cup and handle here, right? And then it fell. It fell. I mean, so it's not a guaranteed bullish scenario for Bitcoin, but it's looking better. But if you let the charts tell the tale, it tried the same exact pattern here, and then it fell back down to a lower low. Okay, so let's see. I mean, we'll see what happens. This is all we can do is take it level by level. I like what I'm seeing on the Bitcoin chart right now, claiming the 105 level. That's a good level to be claiming. And we know that we know where our trades are, right? We know where our key levels are. And if you don't know where they are, rewind the video and watch it and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So let's ride high into some gains over the weekend, man. I'm looking really forward to it. We've rode high on this channel for a lot of games, right? We were due for some losses on the channel. To be honest with you, no one wins 100% of the time. Okay. And if they tell you that they do, they don't. I'm willing to show people that I like live, like where my stop loss is. Once we got above this level right here, man, 103, I stopped out. I got stopped out. I entered my short at about, I think it was like 101.5 was my average price. I got stopped out at 103. Why? Because I knew we broke market structure. I'm okay with being wrong sometimes, man. You're not always going to be right, okay? And now I'm actually super okay with being wrong if Bitcoin's going to be heading up. Like, this is where we want to see Bitcoin going. So I'm actually super okay with not being, always right on my short position that I just took. I'm good with that. Why? Because first off, I front ran this, bam, took it all the way down here, longed it here, bam, shorted it. I think I longed it here too. We took like 3 massive gains on like $6,000 to $8,000 positions, man. We're bringing home like 2K or more per position. It was awesome. We did 3 in a row. It was nasty. Then we took $500 gains here, $600 gains there, $400 gains here. We took a couple of losses, 250 there, 250 here, stuff like that. But we're so massively up right now that, understanding that Bitcoin is starting to head up, now that we can kind of see where could it be going, dude, I mean, this is exciting stuff. It truly is. Like, this is where it gets really, really exciting. First thing we got to do, man, is we got to crack this all-time high, baby. We got to crack that all-time high. Wow. You know what I mean? Just knock it out, dude. Because that's it. Once we break this 105.3, dude, the only thing that's in our way is right here, the all-time high. And then you see the price targets on this: 113, 117, right? 116, 120. Beautiful. It's super bullish stuff. That's what I'm looking at. So yeah, man, I'm pretty excited. To be honest with you, like, I'm pretty excited. I bet you wolfers are excited too, because they'd like to see those coins that we hold, that we master and validator node on. We want to see those things go up, man. And we've been doing this stuff for a long time, and you know, let's get it. You know, January 20th blast off. So, I mean, we could. We'll see what happens. I'm not gonna. I don't want to put in a prediction, because it can go either way. Because in the past 2 times that inauguration happened on January 20th, the next 2 to 3 weeks was downside. So could this one be different? Yeah, it could. But could it also do exactly what it did the last 2 times? Yes, absolutely could. So just be cognizant of that, man. That's all I'm saying. Just be cognizant of it, and we'll see. Take this level by level and see what happens. If we can break above this 105.3, dude, I mean, we're looking extremely good for upside. And then I would be biased on retesting at least the $100,000 level, holding it as support, and then boom, let's get it. So with that being said, hopefully all of this was helpful. I appreciate everybody for showing up. I hope you have a good #Friday Pie Day with your beautiful family. Let's ride into the weekend with some gains. We did take a profitable gold trade. We took a loss on a Bitcoin trade, got stopped out. Our thesis was wrong, finally. But we took a lot of gains on the way there. So no big deal on that. So with that being said, I will see you in the next video. I appreciate everybody showing up. Make sure you hit the like button. Seriously, it helps a lot. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and boom, bang on that notification bell. Comment anything that you want in the relevant sections, whether it's live or whether it is after the video is already posted and you're watching it, not live. I appreciate you. We'll see you in the next stream. Peace.